You! Yes, you, precisely. The one confused right now. I'm watching you. I'm watching you closely. I just want to say, welcome back to the ZayKouPlays channel. I'm very happy to have you here. I hope you've had an awesome day and that the day or slash evening, whatever time it is gonna get even better. Now, in the video that was previously released on the channel, I kind of outlined how I managed to burn myself out on old school RuneScape after undertaking a bunch of seriously stupid grinds that just killed my motivation to play the game, and how I'd be focusing more on variety content, which essentially boils down to me playing different games and making content revolving around those games. And that is precisely what we're doing right here, right now, today. So I'm gonna show you a quick little list of the games that I've currently been playing. I'm gonna give you some of my quick first impressions, opinions about the games in general, and I'd really appreciate some feedback and opinions regarding what kind of content you want to see on the channel in the future. Because as you will see, there's a slight spread of games available to be played, and I have even more lined up if somebody would be very interested in watching them. But without further ado, you probably already see a game playing on your screen at the moment, and for someone who's not super familiar with FPS games or first-person shooter games, you may not exactly recognize the game itself. But this is Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Now, for people who are familiar with me, they're pretty aware of the fact that first-person shooter games, they're probably, my second, if not most played type of game throughout my life. I essentially got my start in serious gaming by playing the original Unreal Tournament when I was way too young to be playing that game. And the interest in shooters has just kept going throughout the years. I was super into Counter-Strike Global Offensive for a span of about 4 years, between 2013, 14, and 19. And I played quite a lot of Call of Duty as well. Started off with Modern Warfare 2 at my friend's place because I did not have a console at the time. And for people who are slightly younger and kind of getting used to be able to play Call of Duty on a PC, then that's not always been the case. The PC releases have usually been very unsupported and very bad just in quality, a lot of hackers and whatnot. But whatever, let's get back to the point. But the latest Call of Duty title that I properly enjoy would have been Black Ops Cold War. Played that a whole lot during its release year, mostly because the world kind of came to a standstill due to the event that I will not go further into detail about. You all know what I'm talking about. But me and my good real-life friends all happened to have PlayStation consoles around that time, and we put an ungodly hours into the game, and I had a blast with it. I will say that I feel like the franchise took a nosedive after Cold War. I know that the game itself wasn't super appreciated, and that people didn't necessarily jive with it, but just every single game after that, I've just not been able to enjoy it. We tried getting into Vanguard, we tried playing Modern Warfare 2, and yeah, that was an entirely different story. But so you may ask yourself, if I haven't liked any release after Cold War, then why am I playing Black Ops 6? The answer is actually not very surprising, and it's rather simple. I really enjoy the game. Part of my enjoyment probably comes from the fact that I'm able to play it with a mouse and keyboard, which is just my preferred way of playing all kinds of shooters. And the game in general is just really good. It's very reminiscent of Black Ops Cold War, which, well, not that big of a surprise that I enjoy it. The way gunplay feels good. I really like how they made changes to the movement with omni movement and whatnot. It feels like a game where you can play proper aggressive and just run and gun, which is not the experience that I've had with the Modern Warfare franchise of Call of Duty games. Although I've heard that Modern Warfare 3 apparently was a bit more mobile, but yeah, MV2 was certainly not the case for MV2. I also really enjoy the round-based zombies mode, I'm not gonna lie. It's a great place where you don't feel like sweating out a match of multiplayer or even ranked play, you just wanna chill. Or you could, I usually use it for warm-up to get my clicks down and my mouse movement on point for playing multiplayer. And just in general, it's not super, well, I will say that there's two different modes right now. There's the standard and directed mode. I am not a veteran zombies player, so I usually play directed just to get the objectives completed, because I have negative IQ and cannot figure out the Easter eggs on my own without having indicators. So veteran zombies players are absolutely gonna think that I'm a pleb for that. Maybe I am. I am probably a pleb in general when it comes to playing this game, because I will also put in a little disclaimer here. I am not very good at the game, not by any metric. The footage that you see on screen at the moment is from one of the few sessions where I actually did somewhat good over a span of 3 matches, and even then, I'm not gonna say that I was a top fragger or anything. It was just games where I didn't go negative. A part of the reason for this decline in ability, as I would like to say that I was pretty goddamn proficient at playing like the older Call of Duty games. Probably aged to a certain point. You know, I noticed that my reflexes aren't what they used to be. Sniping is I've never really quite been good at it with a controller. I was pretty goddamn good at it in Modern Warfare 3. Just my reflexes aren't what they used to be, and that's just something that I'm gonna have to accept. Now, the other factor for maybe the game giving me the impression that I'm not very good would be the skill-based matchmaking, which is very noticeable even when you're not playing the goddamn ranked mode. This has been a point of contention and discussion for like several years at this point, so I'm not gonna bother whining too much about it. But it does kind of give me the impression like, okay, you are not the worst player in the game, you're not the best. And I mean, maybe that's just what Activision kind of has to vision, or that's their vision. They just want everybody to feel like they're on an equal playing field. And while I'm kind of whining, then may as well go out of my way to mention the other negative that I have with this game, and that's just the fact that I can't make it look good by any means. Like, you wouldn't know it by looking at the footage on your screen right now, but I have maxed the majority of my settings to like ultra or high. That's not maxing, but yeah, crank them up a lot, and it looks pretty okay on my part. But whenever I try to like look through my clips or edit something in Premiere, the game just looks super grainy, and I've noticed that the textures are just popping in and out all the time, which is very strange, as it shouldn't be an issue with my computer or my internet. So yeah, that's a bit annoying, but yeah, can't really do anything about that. But apart from those criticisms that I have, and the first point of criticism just being that I've gotten worse at FPS games, regardless of them, the game is a lot of fun. And I didn't buy the game for anyone like wondering. I bought a subscription to Xbox Game Pass, which is available on PC. Not sponsored, by the way. Just want to put it out there because I was not aware of this fact. But if you want to give the game a try, then you can just, you know, get yourself a month of Game Pass and try it out before you decide to commit to it. And when it comes to the question of me creating content around this game, may make some like retro style frag movies just for shits and giggles. I was actually also thinking about streaming this game, as I know that there's a bunch of people in the Misfits community who play multiplayer as well as zombies. But if you have any other suggestions regarding what kind of footage you'd like to see me create when it comes to Black Ops, then please drop it down in the comments. I very much appreciate it. Alright, time to present the second game that's been stealing a lot of my time over the past couple of months. Yet another first-person game, although not a shooter this time. This game is called Phasmophobia. Yet another game that kind of rose to popularity during the hard times a couple of years ago, and yet another game that I was not able to play at the time because I did not have a working gaming computer and it wasn't released on consoles. It's now released on consoles, but that release only happened a couple of weeks ago, to the joy of a couple of my friends who do not have access to like a PC either. But yeah, back to the game itself. So it's a first-person, either solo or cooperative ghost hunting game. So the whole premise of the game is essentially that you have these different tools. You all start in a truck outside of the venue that you have like kind of chosen to investigate. You grab your stuff and then you head into the house. It can be like, we're playing a lighthouse map with my friends right now, but there's residential houses, there's campsites, there's a school. Quite a nice spread of maps, honestly. And you start looking for evidence to determine what type of ghost it is. There's over 20 different ghosts, and they all kind of behave differently, and they all respond to different tools in certain ways. So the whole objective is to try to find out what type of ghost you're dealing with without dying. Now, how do you die in this game? Well, as you can see on the screen right now, it is super dark. And while you're standing in dark places, your sanity starts to deplete. A mechanic that people who have played Amnesia, The Dark Descent, or just any of the Amnesia games would be familiar with. And the lower that your sanity go, the more stuff is going to start happening around the house. And when the total sanity of the team, or yourself if you're playing solo, hits a certain percentage, then that enables the ghost to start hunting. And then it kind of turns into a hide and seek game, where if the ghost manages to catch you, then you're dead, and you're sent to a death screen where you can, not a death screen per se, but the death realm, where you can still roam around the house and kind of listen to your friends and watch them all get scared. Now, this game is kind of the biggest positive surprise gaming was for me this year, because when my friend group just pitched the idea or asked me like, hey, do you want to join? We're going to start playing Phasmophobia. I was very hesitant because I am not a big fan of horror games. I really enjoy horror movies, because, you're not controlling a character in that situation. But having to control a character during a tense or stressful situation caused by fear hasn't really traditionally been my idea of a good time. But I've been having a blast with this game. Now, I will say that it does help that around 5 or 6 of us started playing around the same time. If I tried the game solo, I probably wouldn't have played half as much as I have now, or even a quarter, because it's pretty overwhelming when you start out. The majority of your tools, or all of your tools, are really bad, obviously, since there's a leveling system. So having friends that are as lost and kind of panicking as you are really like helped to bring a certain kind of humor to the game that then made me want to keep on playing it. Nowadays, I'm pretty confidently able to hop into like medium/hard difficulty games on my own. Do I still get scared? Absolutely. But can I see the humor in it and kind of still have a good time with it? Yeah, and that's pretty good personal progress, I feel like. Now, I do have some content cooking up like that revolves around Phasmophobia. I think I mentioned this in my previous video as well, that there's like a compilation of highlights coming from our play sessions, and that project has kind of taken a life on its own. It is taking quite a long time just due to the nature of subtitling and censoring everything, because we do curse quite a lot. Like when you get scared, you curse. But I think I mentioned as well that we don't really speak English with my friends and coworkers whenever we play, so just like getting everything put together, and then I've just got a massive amount of clips from the game as well. So it's taking a bit longer than expected, but it is absolutely on its way. I also know that a couple of my dear friends have agreed to play this game on stream, so I'm probably also gonna stream it. I would have wanted to do it for Halloween, but unfortunately I got super busy with like work as well as moving and setting everything up in my new apartment, so that didn't happen. But if you do want Phasmophobia streams in the future, then I'm sure we can make that happen. Now, back with another curveball for people who know me in real life with the selection of this particular game. This game's called Supervive. It was released into open beta exactly a week ago, and it is a mashup of a few different genres, such as a MOBA game, battle royale, as well as a third-person shooter game. And for, like I stated earlier, like if anybody's familiar with me and my preferences when it comes to gaming, then neither MOBA or BR games are anything that I typically like to spend my time playing. There's been one exception to this rule when it comes to MOBAs, and that was a game called Battlerite that was kind of popular a couple of years ago. It was a really fun take on the MOBA genre in my opinion, because it skipped the whole like setup process of having to like farm creeps and, you know, it just threw you into team fighting straight away, and that's kind of the same thing that Supervive is doing. Okay, there's some creep farming, but it's not as bloody long as, say, the farming phase in like Dota 2 or League of Legends. The majority of your abilities are also skill shots, which is something that I really appreciate, because I hate just spells and abilities that auto-target people and deal massive amounts of damage. This game is very similar to Battlerite. Now, it may be a Battle Royale game, but that didn't really bother me too much, to be honest, because it kind of helps to keep the matches. They're a bit more dynamic, you know. Everything doesn't spawn in the same locations. The map is the same all of them. Kind of keeps things rather fresh, honestly. And yeah, I gave this a try with my younger brother and his homie. Both of those guys have like longer backgrounds in MOBA games than I do. But regardless of our different like experiences with the genre of MOBA games, I've been having a really good time. I've typically played like marksman hunters. The hunter you currently see me playing in the footage that is playing is my buddy Stash's main, and then there's an archer called Myth that I've been having fun with. And I've also been kind of trying to like broaden up my hunter pool, but yeah, whatever. So the game is quite new, like I said, so there hasn't really developed a clear meta just yet, and there's a couple of different ways to play the game. Unfortunately, there's no solo queue, which is kind of a bummer because I really don't like playing with randoms. There's 2v2 and 2v2, 4v4, and then there's arena mode that I haven't tried just yet. But yeah, I've tried out the majority of the hunters. I bought like a $20 supporter pack to get access to all of them. They all feel really fun. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm more of a like marksman / range DPS player, but I tried out a couple of the initiators as well as the melee heroes too, and they're quite fun. I was surprised. I've never enjoyed playing like a champion / hunter that has to be up and close in any other MOBA like context. I think it was really fun in this game. So if you're in any sense interested after hearing me ramble on about the game for a while, I do recommend you trying it out. It is free to play, and if you have even one other friend that thinks that this game could be a good time, then I wholeheartedly recommend that you try it out. It's, like I said, the meta's not developed. You can kind of get away, especially on lower skill levels, you can get away playing whatever compositions and just, you know, mess around and have a good time. As for content revolving this game, I'm not quite sure. I'm probably going to stream it at some point, especially if they like implement some sort of a solo queue function, or if I just get any of my homies who want to play with me on stream, because I am enjoying the game quite a lot. We'll see if that starts to change, because we're like slowly but surely climbing up in the rankings, because we're always just playing ranked play. And we'll see if that kind of changes. If it gets too sweaty, I may bow out, because that's usually when I don't have a good time with MOBA games. But for the time being, like as always, if you want to see me and my friends play this game together on stream, then let me know. Alright, time for the last game that's been taking up a lot of my time recently. Surprisingly, unsurprisingly to some maybe, it is old school RuneScape. Because even though you're tired of the game, you never properly leave it. And I will say I've had a lot of fun with RuneScape recently, more than I had at the beginning of the year. That's a lot thanks to the fact that several of my friends who used to play the game a couple of years back, they started playing the game again. I just randomly logged in one day. I noticed that they were all online and joined their Discord. So I kind of started raiding, doing content with them, and that got me interested in playing the game again. Now, you can see the name of this account, but it is not my main. As you may know, that I have max combats on my main, except for magic. Then what's this account doing in the Nightmare Zone? Well, not only like am I yet again thinking about doing some, maybe maxing the account and training some skills on the main, as well as other hard content. I've started playing on a secondary account that's going to turn into secondary main, just for the purposes like whenever my main's off doing something that, or doing a skilling activity that doesn't really net you money, then I'd be able to play on a secondary account. So yeah, that is exactly how deep I'm back into playing RuneScape. 2 accounts, was trying to make it pure, but don't have the time to play 3 accounts at the same time. And that's kind of where we're at with the game at the moment. So like when it comes to content, I have a lot of footage recorded. Raids, as usual, hasn't really done anything to like make me happy, or done anything for me rather. But I got some other really cool clips that I just need to figure out how to incorporate into like a bigger narrative video. So I'm not gonna say that there's an OSRS video coming this year, because like legit there's a month left of this year. But pretty soon there will be another old school RuneScape video on my channel. I just need to figure out like kind of the focus of it essentially. But if you're still desperately fiending for some OSRS content from Mr. ZayKou here, you're in luck, because there will be streams. The day that I'm recording and editing this video is the release day of the newest leagues for OSRS, Raging Echoes, and I would have loved to be like streaming on its release day, but I'm pretty sure there's been like some complications with the release of it. I saw that it didn't go live around the time that it was supposed to and all that stuff. So realistically, probably won't have the time to stream today, but tomorrow, which would be Thursday the 28th, I am planning on streaming. I just got to set up a few things for my stream as well, such as like getting the chroma key for my new green screen to work properly. And I would have loved to like stream entirely blind, like me, the first experience playing the leagues, but I don't think it's that important, because the content idea for this iteration of the leagues would be like one separate account for my YouTube videos, one separate account for my stream videos, and by the looks of it now, just by the nature that I still will be recording some content for the leagues like later in the evening today, then the YouTube will be entirely unplanned. I'm just gonna, you know, kind of go with my gut feeling, maybe sitting in Discord like theory crafting some with my buddies who also play the game. But I haven't done any research. Like, I barely read the relic reveal, so I don't really know what I'm getting myself into. And as for the stream account, then that's probably gonna be a plan that I'm formulating while playing my YouTube account. And by the end of the leagues, we'll just see which account like has achieved more, which account was more fun to play. That's also like kind of assuming that I will be playing the leagues until its end, because like typically I get burnt out after a couple of weeks. But no, we'll see how long I'll keep playing the game, and I absolutely will be playing more OSRs in the future anyways. So yeah, this is a slight plug for my Twitch channel. Tomorrow, the 28th, I will be going live at some point. It's going to be either a 2 to like 6 hour stream, kind of depending on how I'm feeling. If you're still in desperate need for some quality OSRS streaming content, and I'm pretty sure that Cosbub as well as Talk will be streaming the leagues today. Cos may even be alive by the time that I'm recording and releasing this. So if he is, then I've linked both of their channels in the description as always. Please check the fellas out. It's much appreciated. And if you want to keep up to date with like my new video releases or whenever I actually go live, feel free to join our Discord as well. You can follow all of our individual like channels with releases, notifications for when we go live on Twitch, and just general channel updates as well. But yeah, I think that I've rambled for long enough. I was aiming to keep this video under 20 minutes, and I'm cutting it super close. So I'm just gonna bow out right here, try to get some of the audio balancing done, and then just, yeah, throw this video up into the internet and go and prepare for tomorrow's streams. I'd just like to thank you, yes, you again, exactly you, so much for watching this video. Especially if you made it through the whole thing, because it's another pretty long-winded one. And yeah, you're awesome for that. And if you guys have any like feedback, thoughts on future content you want to see, just comments in general, drop them down there. I do my best to try to respond to everybody in a timely manner. Granted, with the release of leaks now, then there may be a slight delay, but regardless, I really appreciate that y'all clicked on this video and gave it a watch. And I hope that for those of you who play OSRS, that the start start of your leagues has gone awesomely and that you're having a good time with it. And for everybody else, just whatever you're doing, I hope you succeed at it. I will be back with one more video this year, hopefully two before 2025 arrives upon us. And yeah, I'll catch you all in the next upload. ZayKou out.